Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily UPSC MCQ series that we started yesterday, and important questions we are discussing with much depth, and I thank you from my heart for that much appreciation and the happiness that you showed with this series. And today is 2nd of June it is, and it was the most important paper today for sure, but that was a tougher one as many people could not get a clue about many questions, and those went like bouncers. But you see, again UPSC is going back towards its legendary level of questioning, where a lot of deep knowledge is needed, a lot of revision of the static portion is needed, and all awareness about the current issues and whatever is going on, what is being discussed in the news section, what Supreme Court is saying, what High Court's decisions are about, and important schemes, their particular impact on the democratic process and all. So everything is important now. So you need to have a 360 degree approach, and with this particular series we will try to make that thing perfect, and it's gonna be a daily addition here. So I would hope that you people will understand all these things in this spirit, and you will never be exhausted from these questions. So 2nd of June it is, and let's start the questions. Before that, these are the numbers there you can call and you can ask for these pendrive courses by StudyIQ. Very important, these courses are gonna be now, and this is the website's address and the chat section is available there. And very important courses these all are. First question, flagship program of health ministry, Ayushman Bharat. Regarding that, we need to choose the correct options. Now you see the options. It's the game-changing scheme by government for secondary and tertiary healthcare. You see, these are two important components under it. One is the Health and Wellness Center scheme. Second is the National Health Protection Scheme and the Jan Arogya Yojana, and that is regarding the secondary and tertiary healthcare. The wellness centers, that scheme is regarding the primary healthcare sector. So we cannot say that only secondary and tertiary sector healthcare system is taken care here. So first option would be wrong here. And second one, it is regarding the population research centers. You see, these were not recently established. These were established way back in 1958 in Delhi and Kerala. They established two, and in total now there are 18 PRCs all over the country in 17 states and UTs, and they are autonomous bodies and established by the ministry only, but they are coming under particular universities or some institutions. So the administrative control would be there with these institutions and these universities. But certainly these are a very important component here, and recently a seminar was taken by the health ministry so that we can reinvent these important bodies, and they can be very helpful in demographic researches. As we are a young nation, we need a lot of data, we need a lot of researches, and all these informations regarding our demography, regarding our populations, the disease, the important scheme and their impacts, everything should be there here. So all these researches are done by PRCs. So the reinvention is needed here. For that, this was a very important current affair, and here we talk about the PRCs. So they are not recently established. Both are wrong options here. So D none would be the answer here, because it is asking about the correct options. Now, as in the PIB lesson also on 31st of May, I talked about this issue, and let's start with that. Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, it said that they organized a national workshop for population research centers. As I told you, you see, Ayushman Bharat is a flagship program. As we all know, centrally sponsored scheme it is, and two components, health and wellness center, as I told you, and how it is going to be developed. Like, there are already under the health program scheme, there are sub centers above that. The primary health centers are there on the village level, and then at the community level, community health centers are there, and then on the district level, district hospital is there. So it's a hierarchy. So these PHCs, they will be converted into health and wellness centers. They will be given these facilities like diagnostics and all these machines, x-rays and all, and they will be converted into health and wellness centers. So this is how they will take care about the primary health sector, and the contribution of ASHAs and the nurses, these basic workers on the ground level. Their contribution is a must here, and the posting of the doctors in the village areas and all. So these are gonna be the biggest boost here for the primary sector. So it's an important component. Second component is about the secondary and tertiary care. You see, when private hospitals are also allowed in this scheme. So it is about the hospitalization expenses, means they will hospitalize you, they will attend you for 2-3 days, 4-5 days, as any time where you will stay in the hospital, and whatever expenses will be there, that would be given by government, and a family can avail up to 5 lakh rupees expense here. But you see, the challenge was that because more facilities are there with the private private hospital and all these clinics and all, and they will give hefty bills, and that bill will be paid by government here. So the allegation was such that private hospitals and the private bodies, they will be having the advantage of this particular scheme, because people will be interested in getting the treatment in the private hospitals. They will be hospitalized in these hospitals very easily, because they both will be interested there, and the payment would be done by the government. So this is a kind of a unique adjustment here. So here the boost should be there more with the government healthcare sector, and the healthcare budget should be raised here. But it is not talking about that. It is talking about the secondary and tertiary care. So it's a Jan Arogya Yojana, National Health Protection Scheme. Okay. So that's the issue. It's a flagship scheme, and you see, it's a game-changing scheme. As I told you, that 10.74 crore people, they will be affected here, and around 40 to 50 crore people, they will have the advantage here, because they don't need to pay in the hospital bills and all. So out of the pocket expenditure, they will be controlled here, but they will have to give some contributions here, as it's a health protection scheme. So it's the biggest one till now all over the world, and PRCs can play a major role here in all these studies. And mainly PRCs were established for family planning, demographic research, biological studies, and qualitative aspect of population control and all. So that's important. And 18 PRCs are there right now, and 12 are attached to various universities, and 6 are in research institutions. So that's the case, and they will come under the administrative control of these universities or the research institutions. So all the detail is given here in the PDF. You can go through that. And again, the ministry says that these PRCs will be very much crucial for the evaluation of NRHM programs, DLHS, LASI, family health surveys and all. So important researches and important appraisals can be given here by the PRCs. And all other details regarding the Ayushman Bharat and all, you can read here on the Vikaspedia website link that I have given here. And all the data that appeared in the PIB, that text is available here. Okay. Next, Union Cabinet chaired by Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi has approved 3,000 rupees monthly pension scheme for small retail traders and shopkeepers. That was the first day announcement by the government, and after the age of 60 years, minimum 3,000 rupees would be the pension according to the pension scheme here. So they are now taking care about the small shopkeepers, small traders and all, and they have set some limits there that 1.5 crore rupees if the revenue for the GST payments and all. So below that category, means the people who are below that particular limit, they can avail the advantage of this particular pension scheme, and the age group would be 18 to 40, like the Atal Pension Yojana. So you cannot say that above 18 years of age all people can join that. That is a wrong statement. 18 to 40 should be mentioned here. Next, there is no single window enrollment portal that is launched here. There is no option. CSCs, common service centers, which are there all over the country, 3.25 lakh service centers are there, and they come under the MIT ministry, the Electronics and IT ministry, and they are realizing the goal of Digital India and the e-governance issue. So they are very much important, and there all these traders and shopkeepers, they can enroll themselves in this particular scheme. Third, there is no 100% contribution by the central government. 50-50 contribution would be there. 50% would be given by the person, and 50% would be given by the government. So that's an important scheme, and as a subsidy they will deposit that amount in the pension account there. So all three are wrong options. D none is the answer here. You can see here 1.5 crore rupees is the turnover limit. Below that they can avail the advantage, 18 to 40 years of age. More than 3 crore shopkeepers, they will have the advantage here, and through the common service centers, which are there in number as 3.25 lakh all over the country. They are at the village level also. So village level entrepreneurs, they are mainly leading these CSCs. Okay, so we will talk about that also. But before that, The example is also given in the PIB website. Like if any person of 29 years of age, if he contributes 100 rupees per month, then the same amount would be given by government here. So this is how they will get minimum 3,000 rupees pension after the 60 years of age. Okay, so that's the case here. So it's not like that you contribute something and you start getting your pension. It's not like that. There are various provisions, and it would be after the 60 years of age. So that's important. Regarding the common service centers and the Digital India, this is a combined goal, and for the digital infrastructure, governance and services on demand, digital empowerment of citizens, all these goals are fulfilled by the common service centers here. Okay, if we read about these CSCs, their introduction is that by the Ministry of Electronics and IT, they were established access point of delivery of various electronic services to villages in India, like basic government services. Which are the services offered here? You can see these are the services offered here. Services, all the important certificates, health services, rural banking, entertainment services, utility services, and the commercial services, they are made available by internet based e-governance based platform here, that is the CSC. And village level entrepreneurs, they are running these and they are providing the services here. Basic thing, that is the eligibility. What is the eligibility? 10th pass, an adult person above the years 18 years of age, that person can start these CSCs in their village. And you see, these were established by the Companies Act 1956. Okay, and they are going on, and the important e-governance framework they are following there. Okay. It provides a centralized collaborative framework also for delivery of services to citizens through CSCs. So attached with the government departments also. So that's the important thing. And the eligibility is given here. 10th pass should be the person, and basic computer skills should be there. Basic courses should have been completed by that person, and a valid Aadhaar number he should avail here. And you see, regarding the pension scheme also, the recognition of that pensioner, that would be availed by the Aadhaar identity only. So that is the case, not much documentation is needed, and through these CSCs showing your Aadhaar number, you can enroll into that. Next, ENDS is not a recently found chemical. That's not a chemical. Actually, it's a electronic nicotine delivery system. Nicotine is found in the smoke of the cigarette, as we all know, and that's an addictive addictive chemical. It's a carcinogen, affects your nervous system, affects the fetus also for the pregnant ladies. So it's a particular e-cigarette system where ENDS is followed, electronic nicotine delivery system. So it's not a chemical, although the process is carcinogenic for sure, but it's a wrong statement. And for checking the Minas Health Ministry has put a complete ban. No, it is not till now. It's only a recommendation by the ICMR. ICMR as a body under the Health Ministry and Indian Council of Medical Research, that has done this research, and they established a committee actually, and the committee's name was the K. Srinath Reddy Committee. And important persons from PHAI, AIMS, FSAI, PGMIR, all these people were there in this committee, and they all did this research, and they actually confirmed the international researches on this area that ENDS is a dangerous thing and it should be completely banned. So this is a recommendation. And you see, if we understand the concept here, it's a battery operated and it's an electronic system, and the person feels like he's holding a cigarette, but that's actually a it's an electronic system, it's a device, it's not an actual cigarette here. Okay, it collects the aerosols which are delivered to the person's lungs here, and they are equally dangerous as the cigarette is. Okay, so that's the thing. And nicotine electronic delivery system, ENDS, you should remember that. All these diseases like respiratory, cardiovascular, neurological disorder, molecular immunological toxicity, all these things are the major negative impacts by the e-cigarettes also. So that may be asked here. Major population is under this control, and now they are demanding the complete ban so that lakhs of young ones, they can be saved from this menace. Next, FCTC, WHO FCTC. It's a framework convention on tobacco control. It is one of the first widely accepted a treaty, but you see, it's not a non-binding, it's a binding treaty. That is the beauty of it. That is a wrong statement, because it's a binding treaty, and it was adopted by the 56th World Health Assembly held in Geneva, Switzerland, and in 2003. In 2005 it got enforced, and a major treaty, binding treaty for a particular issue of tobacco control, which is directly relatable with the non-communicable disease. as it may cause a disease like cancer, COPD, the compulsive obsessive pulmonary obstructive disease, and these are major non-communicable disease caused by this cigarette smoke. And you see, this also talks about the active smoking, and passive smoking also talks about the advertising issues and all, which are the major issue because they make attractive packaging and all, and that's why more and more young ones are attracted to them. And these cigarette packets are now taken into this consideration. In many countries, they are sold in some blank packets and all, and there is no attractive labeling on that. And in India, it's a good thing that major portion of that particular label is covered with these pictures of a diseased person who are showing their tumors and all, and it actually gives some chills to some people, and people are somewhat aware and alerted about these diseases which can be there. So this FCTC is very, very important. Okay, and majorly in Andhra Pradesh, Telangana region, the tobacco cultivation is done, and it's a cash crop for farmers. So it's a very dilemma-like situation in India because they want their earning from there because it's a cash crop, but it's a very dangerous one for the people, people's health here. Okay, so that's the case. So this is a wrong option. Second, recently the Rajasthan government's health department, not India government's health department, it's Rajasthan government's, that got this tobacco control award by WHO for year 2009. So this is again a wrong option here. D none is the answer here, and you can read whole text here in the PDF. Geneva, Switzerland, where this happened in 56th World Health Assembly and enforced in 2005. Most important thing is that rarely some of the conventions are legally binding, and this is so. Legally binding convention ratified by 181 countries, and 15 countries have not ratified it. US is also among them. FCTC, one of the most quickly ratified treaties in UN history. That's very, very important. Tobacco smoke is the central thing here. Treaties provision include rules that govern the production, sale, distribution, advertisement, taxation of tobacco. So it is dealing about all the issues because anyhow it wants to stop this menace here. Okay, but these major tobacco companies and all, they are always putting these arguments that some things are not that much dangerous and all, but these are all hoaxes. And one of the first multilateral binding agreement regarding a chronic non-communicable disease like cancer, COPD, they may be there. So these are NCD category. So regarding that, this is the first treaty, very important treaty, and all these are topics which it is dealing with. Passive smoking is also taken here, so they may ask you about that also. Passive smoking means if I am smoking and some person is sitting next to me, that person is also getting the smoke because of me. So that is also under a lot of threat, and the same kind of disease they may be there with that person also. Okay, and these are the measures. Next, this thing is given here that Rajasthan government's department that has got this award, and these were the campaigns that they ran, and they somehow controlled in a way the tobacco consumption there, and that's a great thing. Every year WHO recognizes various individuals and institutions, and this time 33 institutions and individuals it recognized, and it was in one of the 6 regions of the world. This was the Southeast Asian region where India, Thailand and Indonesia were there, and 2 institutes. One is Vallabhbhai Patel Chest Institute and Rajasthan Health Department. 2 were chosen for that, and Rajasthan Health Department was the only government body in the country which has awarded for this tobacco-free initiative. So that's very, very important. Next, Drake Passage. You see, Drake Passage is connecting 2 continents. Which continents? South America and Antarctica. Antarctica is a continent. Arctic is an ocean. Arctic is not a continent. Antarctica is a continent. So these are important cities and areas. Cape Town, the southernmost city of one of the southernmost cities of Africa continent. It is there on in South Africa. Ushuaia, this is a city that was supposed to be the southernmost city till now, but now Porto Williams, which was a hamlet. It was a hamlet, means a small village-like structure, or you may say more developed than village. So it was a hamlet, and that is now got the status of a city. So Porto Williams is now the southernmost city of the southern hemisphere here, and it is now in Chile. Ushuaia was the Argentina city. So first this was the southernmost one, now it is the southernmost one. So this is the current affair issue, and they may ask you about that. Falkland Islands are also there in the Atlantic Ocean, and they are located northeast to this area. We will have to look for the map here, and you can see the answer would be C here. Okay, you see Drake Passage. This is South American continent, and this is South Shetland Islands in Antarctic continent. This is called Southern Ocean here, and you see Ushuaia, the Argentina city. This is a particular boundary of Argentina and Chile. This is Chile, and this is Argentina. And Ushuaia was the city of Argentina, and this Puerto Williams is Chilean city. So this has got the status of a city. It is called Cape Horn here, and Beagle Channel is also present here near this. These are important islands here of Chile. So one of the Chilean island is Navarino Island, where it is present, and Beagle Channel. And this was the news, Puerto Williams, Chile, now world's southernmost city, not Ushuaia, Argentina. So that's the case here. Very important area. You see, this is the map, South America, and it is the Antarctic continent, and you can see Puerto Williams is here. These are Falkland Islands. You can see Falkland Islands, and this is Argentina. The boundary is here. This is Chile. Okay, you can read here. Next, consider the following statements about Aldabra giant tortoise, which is correct. You see, Aldabra giant tortoise was in news because it was largest tortoise in the world, and two important tortoise, they were gifted to India by Seychelles. So Seychelles is the important atoll island where its main population lives there. So endemic to Aldabra atoll in not Bay of Bengal. It is wrong, because it is in Indian Ocean and northeast to Madagascar. So it is in western part of Indian Ocean. So that is wrong. It is said to be one of the largest species of the tortoise. That is correct. So 2 only is the correct option here. You can see this is Aldabra tortoise, endemic to atoll in Seychelles. What is atoll? Atoll, when in an ocean there is an island and around it coral reefs that would be developed, and you see after some time, after lakhs of crores of years, not sometime, crores of years, this island would be vanished. It will be dissolved, and it will be taken down by these rivers and all. So it will disappear from here, but this atoll that would remain here because that is close to surface, and only this round surface is left here, and that is called an atoll. And this may be an island, people may live there. So Seychelles is such country, and there the largest species of tortoise on planet lives. It belongs to the reptiles family. You see in chordate section, Chordata is an important phylum, and under that species belongs to the fishes and all. Then comes the amphibians, then comes the reptiles, where all these lizards, snakes, tortoise, dinosaurs, they belong to. And next aves for the birds, and last are the mammals. So mammals is the most advanced group. So tortoise come in the reptile category, and it is vulnerable in the IUCN list. Okay, and 2 giant tortoise gifted by Seychelles to India. You see, one of the longest living animal tortoise is, it on an average lives up to 200 years. 200 years. That's a magical thing, unbelievable thing. But they live for 200 years. So recently, one tortoise died, who was the oldest one in the world. So some months back it happened. So this question is regarding the Aldabra atoll on Aldabra giant tortoise, AGT. You can see Seychelles is here, Victoria is the capital, and location is here. Bay of Bengal is here. It is eastern, northeastern Indian Ocean. This is Indian Ocean here. Okay, Victoria is the capital. So that's very, very important. Next question is regarding volcanoes. Phenomena related with volcanoes. You see, I told you about the converging boundary yesterday, when I told you that oceanic plate, when it converges with the continental plate, this is a denser one, this is a lighter one. It is made up of silica and magnesium, and this is with the silica and aluminium. So it's a lighter one, it's a denser one. When they meet, then the oceanic plate would go down under the continental plate. That is called submergence. You can see in the picture here. This is subduction zone, submergence, and that creates a lot of heat and pressure, and that is released in the form of volcanoes here on the land part. So all around the Pacific Ocean, you see this Pacific plate is going under these continental plates of these North America, South America, and Asia. So in the future, Pacific Ocean would be the smallest one, and the Atlantic Ocean, that is spreading. You see, this is Atlantic Ocean, this is mid-Atlantic ridge, and that is spreading, that is going away. So it is the diverging boundary, and here are the converging boundaries all around it, all around the Pacific Ocean. So there are important active volcanoes here, because the same process is going on. Subduction is happening, and when the subduction happens, then heat and pressure created, and out of these blasting volcanoes which are created due to this process. So they are present all around the Pacific Ocean. This is called Pacific Ring of Fire. Okay, and you see when this subduction happens, then trenches are created. You see, trench is a kind of a steep area that is a abrupt depth. You are coming from this particular level, and abruptly the trench would come. It is created because of this subduction. So you must have heard about the Mariana Trench, that is here, Izubon Trench, Japan Trench, Kuril Trench. These all trenches are created because of these converging boundaries. And diverging boundaries are those where plates are moving away from each other, that I told you about the seafloor spreading yesterday. So that was the diverging boundary. So there also the lava was coming towards the surface because it is finding space because of the diverging boundary. So here also these lava and all these revelations are here. So it is also related to volcanoes. And you see, when this lava is coming out, then a lot of fumes and all these things are coming out, and this is a very hot area. Although on the basis of the ocean, when the abyssal plain is there the temperatures are in minus degree, minus 20, 30, 40, 50 degree, anything can be there. It's a very cold area because there is no sunlight and or energy, any energy source. But because of these volcanoes and this particular lava that comes out, because of that there are hydrothermal vents, and they are also associated with the volcanoes here. So that's the case. So diverging boundary, converging boundary, trenches and hydrothermal vents, all are associated phenomena with the volcanoes here. So all would be the answer here. Okay, so that's the case. This is the lesson, and all the PDF you will get on the Telegram channel of StudyIQ, and on my Facebook group that I've given on the last page. Here you will get the PDF, and you see in this picture, when I was talking to you about the seafloor spreading, and I was saying that you can evidently see the gap here. This is African plate and this is South American plate. They are so close because they are moving away from each other. So there is a gap that is created here, and that is all across the length of the Atlantic Ocean in the S shape. You can see here, this is S shape here, and all across this length, this kind of gap is evidently visible, and people can move here, and there are hydrothermal vents on the basis of it. So these are the hydrothermal vents, and here people can easily observe the diverging boundary here. So that's the seafloor spreading, and that is why in the future the Atlantic Ocean would be the biggest one. So that's the case. That's a great thing, and it's an important geographical concept. And this is all about today's lesson. Thanks a lot. Keep watching. It was Amit Sani. All the feedback is invited. Any kind of criticism, any kind of appreciation, that is totally welcome. Please share these lessons, and I hope we would go for the best. And today's question paper, I am analyzing these questions, and I will be telling you about these questions on a daily basis, because we need to do a thorough analysis of these questions. Thanks a lot. Keep watching. It was Amit Sani.